Good evening, everybody, and welcome back to Canon Chatter TV. As always, with me, Stephen. How is everybody tonight? We are going to talk about a certain game that happened last Friday night. It seems like days and days and days and days ago, but I'm still buzzing off it. So, do you know what? We're going to make this short and snappy. We're going to play the intro, and we're going to get into the video or into the stream.
Arsenal have gone through an entire league campaign without losing. The first time it's happened.
Okay, so I say welcome back to Canon Chatter TV, and if you're new to the channel, where have you been? We've been here since March and doing great things. So for anybody who isn't familiar with who we are, I'm Stephen, and beside me we have got my partner in crime, my co-founder of the channel, G. How are you?
I'm good, absolutely good. Buzzing from obviously Friday night's game, feeling really positive by that performance. Arsenal wise, feeling really good. Obviously seeing our rivals lose over the weekend was also nice. Did a bit of pumpkin picking today for the first time in my life ahead of Friday night show. So yeah, really excited about Arsenal at the moment, and obviously ahead of just some of the content we got coming the fans' way. So yeah, no, I'm really good. How about yourself?
Yeah, I'm good. Bit tired. Been a long weekend, and the kids are off school this week. So yeah, it's going to be a long week. But do you know what? It's grand. It's grand. We are also, as always, joined by the lovely Lottie, who is the other permanent member of our team. Lottie, how are you?
I'm good. I'm a lot better as I can speak again, which is nice. Yeah, but I'm buzzing. Obviously, I was at the game on Friday night, which was absolutely sublime. I mean, it was just, I'm just buzzing of it. I've had a good weekend. I took my nan to the bingo. Went to the bingo for the first time, like an old lady. But do you know what? It was actually good fun. Came out with some money, so I'm quite pleased with myself.
Good. I used to play online bingo years ago.
No, this is proper paper bingo. Like, it was wicked. Bingo. I've never nothing. I haven't experienced anything like it. I actually enjoyed it.
Yeah, too much work involved in that. We actually have to remember your dibbers, your dabbers, your daubers, and
oh no, there's breaks in between each kind of sort of game. Literally, you get food.
I know, but the fact that you actually have to score out your own numbers, Gala Bingo just did it all for me. It was great. All you had to do was hit the
Personally, I only went bingo a couple of times, with sisters and aunties and stuff, and to be honest, I could never keep up. They were forever circling the numbers for me because I just could never keep up. And
do you know what it is? There's a system to it. Like the first game, I was lost, and then my nan said, "Look, there's less than 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70s, and 80s. You just follow the lines. It's quite simple.
There you go.
It's really quite simple. Once you nail the system, it's awesome."
Did you win?
I came back with about £70. I went out with a fiver, so I definitely did win.
That's not too bad. I had a disappointing one over the weekend, as I was telling G. I cashed out. I did an 8-fold both teams to score accumulator. So I needed 16 teams to score. By the 82nd minute, 15 of the 16 teams had scored. The only one that hadn't was Leeds against Wolves. And I cashed out. It was £2.50 bet. I cashed out for £74.
Nice.
Leeds scored in the 92nd minute. So I would have got 400. I think it was £470 it would have returned if I hadn't have cashed out.
Oh,
so wow. I did myself out of about £400 by checking out.
Wow.
I would have done the same though, to be honest, man. I would have done the same.
Yeah. Right. Let's have a wee read of some of these comments. Matt, evening, boys and girls. Evening, Matt. How are you? Keith, where have you been? 6 minutes late. No, we're just really early for Friday. Evening, by the way. Evening, Keith. Good evening, Stephen G and Lottie. Evening, Gary. How are you? Somebody else want to read that comment? I'm not reading
Me don't. Haha. Sorry, Steve. Evening all. Beth Mead got a hat trick over the weekend for England, which was fantastic.
And as I told Tom, I don't recognise it because it was against Northern Ireland, so it doesn't count. No, to be fair, I actually seen it earlier on the news, on the Northern Ireland news, and there was a good hat trick.
Yeah.
You know what? So fair play to her. Chris, hi guys, hope you're all well. Thank you, Chris. Hope you are too. And Antonio, kindest greetings to all. Tottenham get battered everywhere they go, and let's all laugh at United.
Oh yeah, no, that's another thing. They've been beaten in the north, the east, the south, and now the west.
Yeah.
Happy days.
4 London derbies. Yep.
Yep. Beating all over London now.
Do you know what?
Be white.
Yeah, the thing with United as well, just on that point, 5-0 they got beat by Liverpool over the weekend, and it still wasn't the most shocking thing to come out of Manchester. Did you see the video of Paul Scholes and his daughter?
No, I didn't.
You'd be glad you didn't.
Okay.
Don't watch it. Do not watch it.
No, you're gonna have to send it to me now. You know, I've not been on. You remember, I even put a tweet out on Saturday, and I said I hadn't been on Twitter much.
Literally, just put it into the search bar on Twitter. It'll come up.
It's a video of him biting his daughter's toenails.
What? I was about to swear then. I was literally about to swear for the first time.
I was waiting for
a family show.
Yeah.
I was literally about to go, what the?
Don't do it.
Wow. That is, that's a bit cringe.
Keith, I was on for 631 quid from a fiver bet until Watford stuck 4 past Everton in the last 20. Oh, unlucky, Keith. You don't want to. So, yeah, you don't want to see that. You're looking it up, aren't you, G?
Yeah, he's doing it.
Yeah, I am.
He can't help himself. Good luck, G. G.
No, but by all means, go ahead. But I've
G, if you're gonna watch it, mute yourself. If you mute yourself if you don't want to.
If I can find it.
Although to be fair, there's nothing better than G's facial reactions when he sees these videos.
Yeah, that is true.
That Scholes thing is just weird. From Chris, Keith saying Scholes, just stop it. And it's proper rancid from Tom. It absolutely is. Yeah, absolutely.
Hang on.
Oh.
No. That is disgusting. And he actually put true love. Did he actually put true love on the video?
I don't know if it was him or his daughter, but yeah.
Mate, yeah. Okay. Wow.
Antonio, biting toenails sounds like something I definitely want to miss. Yeah, absolutely, buddy. Absolutely. Yeah. So listen, let's move on. Let's get away from that. Right. Firstly, before we go into the Arsenal match, off the back of that United game, do you think Ollie's going to get sacked?
No.
Nah. He said himself he's here to stay. So no. Well, keep him till December. He can go after December.
I think he was good. I think if he was going to go, I think they would have got rid of him by now. I think it would have been a kind of, not to say it would have been a reactionary decision, but I think if they were going to get rid of him, I think it would have been more kind of an immediate thing, like next morning, etc. I think at this point, I can't see him leaving as yet. I do think he's on thin ice, just because of the nature of the defeat. They were absolutely dismantled by Liverpool. I was saying to Lottie before we came on air, I can't remember the last time I saw United get absolutely just destroyed like that in a football match. And I think I actually put on one of my tweets that it was actually an historic scoreline. I don't think they've ever lost in that match in particular to that type of scoreline. And I think it was the first time they've ever been 4-0 down at halftime at Old Trafford. So, and you just had to look at Sir Alex Ferguson's face throughout the match. So I think he will stay, but I think he's on thin ice.
Yeah, absolutely. A couple of comments then, Chris. It's the fact he's having a good old chew on it like a dog with a bone. if he was getting sacked, he would have by today. Although I did hear talk that the Sky Sports were reporting that United have made contact with Conte, so who knows?
Supposedly, yeah.
Antonio, please give Ollie a 10-year contract extension. I agree. Tom, though he's doing a great job, I don't know where all this hate is coming from. And exactly would have been like Rodgers at Liverpool, where he was sacked that night.
Yeah,
absolutely. So listen, let's move on and let's talk about what we want to talk about, which is Arsenal. And the first thing I would say is no fans' photos tonight, because to be honest with you, we didn't really get very much coming in. Even Lottie didn't bother sending us anything this week. Yeah, look at that face of horror and shock. Just wait till Friday night to see that face of horror and shock.
I forgot. Oh my! You remind me. That's not fair.
I know, but I shouldn't have to do everything. It's fine.
You're a superstar like that, though. That's the problem. Sorry,
guys.
guys.
Here's the thing: we're trying to keep tonight's show under 3 hours, so it doesn't matter. It's okay.
Well, I'm sitting here, so G's not going to get to do all the talking tonight. All good.
MBE and the New Year's honours for services to football from Chris. Obviously, that's to Ollie and Jamie. Evening, Jamie. How are you? It was just under 80-1 for party anytime. Arsenal win 3-0. I felt guilty asking for a fourth to cover my blushes. I would have paid CC the charity bet.
Oh, did we win our charity bet this weekend? We did, didn't we?
No, because Chris said 3-0 and it was 3-1. So Ramsey did us out.
And I'm thinking of the game before. Lee predicted 3-1 for the game before.
Lee predicted 3-1 for the Crystal Palace game. So yeah. So listen, let's get on with it. And obviously, as we always do, we'll talk about the lineup. So the lineup came out, and we went for Ramsdale in goal. We had a back four of Tomiyasu, White, Gabriel, and Nuno Tavares came in for an injured Kieran Tierney. Now, I did say on our preview show last week that I felt that Tierney probably should be dropped anyway. And Tavares given it a go, but as it turned out, he was dropped because he was injured. So that's fine. We'll talk more about Tavares later on. In the midfield, then it looked very much like a 4-4-2 from the lineup, and from what we've seen on the pitch. So in the midfield, you had in the centre, you had Sambi alongside Partey. You had Smith Rowe out on the left, Saka out on the right, with Aubameyang up top. And from what you could sort of see, Lacazette was sort of playing that number 10, sort of slightly off Aubameyang role, which again was something I had said on the Villa preview show on the Wednesday night that that's potentially what I would do. So as we've said before, I do think that Arteta's starting to watch this and getting his tactical knowledge from me, which I don't mind. If he needs my help, just pick the phone up, Mikel, and give me a wee call. I'll help you any day.
Just drop Stephen a DM, man.
That's it. We'll even sort you out with a Cannon Chatter hoodie. You can wear that on the touchline. So, G, team comes out. What did you make of it?
You know what? To be honest, I've had a lot to say about Arsenal recently, but the lineups is not really an area that I can say I can really criticize Arteta. And to be honest, I've said that for a long time. Obviously, he's thrown in the odd false nine, wobbly over the last year or two, but generally, I'm generally always quite happy with the players that he puts out there. Given the players that are actually, available to pick. So I was happy with Ramsdale keeping his place, back four, really consistent, seeing, 3 of the 4 in there and, fair dues in terms of what you said. We've got a really good, understudy in terms of Nuno. So, having Tavares, coming for Tierney, really, for me, it's almost like a like for like. And at the moment, we'll talk about it later. In many ways, he's they're arguably kind of maybe even performing better. So happy with the defense. I think it was wise to change the midfield because it didn't work against Palace. So bringing Sambi in to kind of give Partey a partner, so to speak, kind of more similar to himself, I thought was good. I think Smith Rowe's done great this season. So nice that he kind of kept his place. Saka, obviously star boy, starting on the right. And it was really nice that despite obviously lots of different opinion based on the Palace performance, it was nice that Lacazette was rewarded for his cameo performance against Palace, because let's face it, the 15 minutes he came on, he was probably our best player, throughout the whole of the 90. So I was really happy with the lineup. I had no complaints whatsoever. I was just hoping that, the players that he put out there put in a performance, and they did. But yeah, very happy with the lineup.
Excellent. So Lottie, you were obviously at the game. So when the lineup came out, obviously, what were your thoughts on what was the sort of buzz around the ground and with the people you were with? Was everybody happy with the lineup, or were people concerned?
No, majority. Obviously, the news hadn't really hit the ground that Tierney was injured. So, I mean, I didn't find out myself until I looked at my fantasy football app. So, because obviously they display it on the screens. But yeah, no, it was a bit of a surprise with Tavares starting. But other than that, people were quite happy. It's what we expected. I mean, as G said, Lacazette's been rewarded as he should be from the Palace game, and it's our most consistent 11. So I kind of expect that with one or two changes.
Yeah. So when you seen the team line up and it looked, obviously, like say, the formation was changed into 4-4-2, what was your initial thoughts around that one?
Do you know what? If it worked, it was more of a kind of match up to how Villa play. If anything, I was just happy with it. I was just ready and raring to go. I was waiting for the whistle to go.
Yeah, I don't necessarily feel like we have. I don't know. It splits opinion, but I'm not necessarily sure we have the players at present to kind of carry out the whole 4-3-3 to the extent or to the efficiency that Arteta needs or wants. So I think, just like when Arteta came in and we played a back five and we got those really good results against, the likes of, Chelsea and City to win the FA Cup. I think, and this is a criticism that I've had of Arteta, is that I do appreciate that the squad is not the finished article in terms of players in, players out. But I'm very much, which I said to you, Stephen, in our last show, which we were on air for about 3 hours, is that my criticism is that I think he kind of has to concentrate on the squad he has now and not too much about what he eventually wants to do, because ultimately we have to get results. So I think seeing him adapt the tactics, bring in some of the new players like Tavares and Lacazette, given his performance, and switching it up into a 4-4-2, I'm happy to see that, because that's what I want. I want him to get the best out of this group of players. And if that means going against what he naturally wants to do in a 4-3-3 to convert to a 4-4-2 because it suits what we've got right now, then I'm all for that. So I'm happy that he changed up the tactics and we got the result.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I mean, I agree 100%. I don't think we've got the players for the 4-3-3 just yet. And it's funny because Keith, mostly Arsenal, and myself were sort of joking over the weekend about this as well. We discussed this, me and him, about 4-5 weeks ago, maybe, in a private conversation between me and him. We're discussing tactics and saying how we think that, we should actually go to a 4-4-2. One, because we have the personnel to do it, and two, because nobody else really does do it anymore. Mm-hmm. And it throws a bit of a spanner in there, because teams generally now, when they go into training, they train to go against a certain formation. And most clubs will play a 4-3-3, a 3-5-2, mm-hmm. Or they'll play a 4-2-3-1. Nobody really plays a 4-4-2, so no one's being coached to play against the 4-4-2. Mm-hmm. So why not change it up? Use the players we have in that formation that suit it. Mm-hmm. Basically, you're throwing a spanner in the works and you're scaring other teams because they don't know how to play against it, and make the most of it while we can. Because eventually what will happen is, teams will start to have to be coached to play against it. But we might as well make the most of it while we can, while it's still raw to them. So, yeah, I mean, I was pleased to see us changing over to it. A couple of comments there very quickly. So, Chris, Stephen, the new Arsenal Tactics Director. Mike, hi, Lottie, G, and Stephen. Great to see this upturn in form. 4-4-2 worked really well on Friday, and I love seeing Laka and Alba in the same team. Yeah, thanks for that, Mike, and good to see you back in the chat. I haven't seen you in the live for a while. Good to have you back with us again. So yeah, I mean, game got underway and it was fairly feisty from the start. I mean, Ollie Watkins got booked after 1 minute for a tackle on Gabriel, which, I mean, at the time it looked, you sort of go, oh, he could have been sent off for that, but it was a bit something and nothing really for me. Whenever I watched it back, what was the reaction in the stadium for that, Lottie?
Oh, we were all calling for a card. Obviously, it was down the other end, so I just about could see from where I was sitting. But a lot of people calling straight for a card.
Okay. So yeah, I mean, the game, we controlled it from the off, and it was really good to see such a high tempo. It was good to see the pressing was so good as well. Every time we lost the ball, we were straight away pressing, getting back in, making the tackles, and Villa didn't know what was hitting them. They couldn't seem to pass 2 or 3 passes together. And we actually had a goal ruled out for offside for Aubameyang, which, to be fair, I think it should have stood. Looking back on it, but we'll not dwell on it because there's more important things, which was the 3 goals we actually did score. So the next incident then was about 23 minutes in, and corner swung in. Thomas Partey finally got, I want to say his head to the ball, but it wasn't. It was his shoulder. But it doesn't matter because the ball went into the corner and Thomas Partey ran off celebrating his first goal for Arsenal. G, how are you feeling?
Party time. You know what I mean? That was literally it. I was so pleased. Obviously, we started the game great. The game had a real edge to it in terms of like the physicality, just the kind of pace of the game. And what I really like about Arsenal is one thing, I have criticized us a lot this season, but we definitely do seem like up for scrap, when a team wants to bring a scrap. And Villa were definitely bringing, they were asking for that. They wanted that. And our players kind of stepped up to that challenge. So it was a great start. And I think, we got our just rewards, when Partey popped up and scored with the shoulder or the head or a bit of both. But yeah, it was amazing. It was just what we deserved. I went absolutely mental in the sitting room. And yeah, it was just really good for him to get his first goal. And I just think it's really ironic that, he's been taking all these long shot efforts and then he ends up scoring with a header or header stroke shoulder. So, but yeah, no, really happy for him. And you could tell, like, from his reaction that he was absolutely thrilled, to get to open his account. It's been a long time coming. So hopefully, if he can add, even if it's five goals, a season, to his game for Arsenal, the more goals we score, every little helps. So, but yeah, great performance for him and really glad that he got his first goal.
Okay. As Mike said there, Partey was brilliant. Should have scored just before that too, wasn't it, when he hit the post? Yeah, so I mean, it was a couple of minutes before that he had hit the sort of, it was almost a stanchion. It was the joint between the post and the crossbar. And he was unlucky that it didn't go in, but it was good to see that the head didn't drop. Yeah. The good thing for me with Partey was he didn't seem to be wanting to shoot from distance as much. He did have a couple of pop shots, but it was more actually Sambi was shooting from distance. And as the game went on, it looked very much like Sambi was determined to get his goal.
Stephen, it was his 22nd birthday that night.
Yeah, so determined. So Lottie, what was it like in the ground for yourself and for the fans you were with when Partey finally put the ball in the back of the net?
Oh well, I went with George, and it's just where I was moaning at G that most of the fans in my block, in block 28, they left me singing on my own, basically. And like any time you sung something that wasn't anti-Spurs, you got people turning around giving you dirty looks like, "Why are you singing?" I was singing throughout the game. I didn't care. I enjoyed myself. But when Partey's goal went in, the ground just lit up. It was just like, oh my god! And once I finished celebrating the ball getting in the net, I actually watched. I had the screens above my head, and then I realised it was Partey. And I turned around and said to my mate George, I said, I got to get a t-shirt printed. I was there when Partey scored. So I think that might be an option at the moment. But yeah, no, it was brilliant.
Yeah. Okay. Again, a couple of comments then. From Keith, lack of celebration was brilliant. Mike, him and Lukonga, Boston midfield both getting stuck in, which I love to see. Tom, I was down the North Bank and I don't recall Villa doing a lot down our end in the first half. Martinez mind was getting at both barrels all the way through. Yeah, he was. I mean, that came across clearly on the TV as well.
He even got battered on the songs as well, which was great.
Chris, do you think he had a lot more confidence being he scored in a couple of international games? Quite possibly. Quite possibly, Chris. Tom saying, come to block 108, 109. Haha.
Tom,
so funny,
I'm sorry. I'm a lower tier girl. Can't be upstairs sitting down all game. Got to be standing. 24, 25 is the place to be.
Not when they don't sing. So Lolly, we're going to have to teach them how to sing.
I'm working on it.
Wouldn't it be good if there was a show that did that? Exactly. So yes, coming back to Keith's comment, lack of celebration was brilliant, and obviously just the other comments, obviously highlighting Martinez. I don't know if this is what you're referring to, Keith. And we didn't actually have this conversation earlier, so this was not set up, but this was, I had spotted this as well. The look on Laka's face, and he's quite clearly taking the piss out of Martinez when he's doing this, for his reaction when he saved, was it a penalty he saved against United? He turned this to the crowd.
Bruno Fernandes,
Yes.
Yeah. Bruno Fernandes. I remember that one quite clearly.
And for all the stick that Martinez has been trying to give. Did you hear apparently Martinez texted Aubameyang before the game and said he'd been training harder than ever and was going to make sure they didn't score and all this sort of stuff?
Wow, this guy.
So Laka's celebration was brilliant. And Laka, to be fair, was brilliant on the night.
Yep.
No, he was.
So yeah.
That's the thing, you know. If you give it, you got to take it. Do you know what I mean? And Martinez, you know, he gives it. You know, he's quite controversial. You know, even with the whole Fernandes Ronaldo kind of penalty thing, you know, he likes to kind of rub players up the wrong way. He gives it to the fans. He's very vocal before and after games. So that's all well and good, but then, you know, when things don't go your way, you've got to be open to getting it back. So there you go. Take 3.
Well, speaking of penalties, it leads us into the next incident, which is really, you know, the game kind of went on and I say we controlled it. There's a couple of moments where Villa started to get back into it a little, but we very quickly got back on top. And it was clear we were winning every ball. We were beating them to every ball. The passing was much sharper than it had been against Palace. You know, they really seemed like they were up for it. And obviously then with 46 minutes and 43 seconds, something like that on the clock, Target clips the back of Laka's, or he actually clips the front of his feet in a tackle in the box. And I mean, first of all, was it a penalty? So Lottie, from you, what you've seen on the night and from what you've seen since, was it a penalty?
I haven't actually watched that one back yet. I've watched most of it back apart from that part. But from where I was sitting, it was most definitely a penalty all day long.
Okay. G, was it a penalty?
I was screaming for it to be a penalty because obviously, you know, we're 1-0 up. It's almost half time. You know, Laka goes down. To be honest, when an Arsenal player goes down, I don't even wait to see what it is. I'm screaming for a penalty because I'm just assuming that it is a penalty because I think our players are pretty honest, on the most part. However, I thought it was a bit soft, if I'm completely honest. I think maybe by the letter of the law, it's a penalty because contact was made, but you know, he's kind of got his back to goal, going away from goal. I did think it was a bit soft, and had it not been given, I wouldn't have been like, oh, you know, that was a real kind of game-changing moment in terms of us not winning the game, etc., etc. But it was one of those 50-50s. I think equally it could have been given, equally it could not, you know, possibly have been given. And I was very surprised that it was given because it's one of those where I've seen them being given, but I've also seen them being kind of waved away. But my first initial reaction was it was definitely a penalty because I was all caught up in the emotion of the game. But watching it back again and again and again, I feel as though it was pretty soft. But as I said, to the letter of the law, it's a penalty because contact was made in the box. But I'm a bit split. But if I had to pick, I'd say no penalty for me.
Really?
Yeah.
It was one of them ones that you're right when you say a soft penalty, but it was a clever penalty from Lacazette.
It was.
He got his body into good position. He knew he was going to get tackled, and he made the most of it.
Yeah.
I think if it had been against us, would have all been given off saying no, never a penalty.
This is it. It's one of those.
But, at the same time, you're absolutely right. From the letter of the law, it was a penalty. Yeah. And as an Arsenal fan, I'm never going to turn down a penalty when we're given one.
This is it.
So it was nice to actually get something from the referee for a change. And I thought, to be fair, Paulson had quite a poor game. Again, he did. He was letting stuff go that I understand he was trying to let the game flow, but he was letting stuff go for us that and then not pulling up the Villa players to talk about it. Whereas he was very quick to pull up our players and talk to them, and not. So it's kind of we were getting the rub of the green in the sense that we were getting the advantage, which was working to our favour, but the Villa players were getting away with stuff, whereas the Villa players weren't getting the advantage, but our players were getting pulled off, and sort of stopping doing the silly tackles and stuff. So, yeah, it was a strange one. See a couple of these comments on it. Oh, where have we got to? So Mike's up in the gods again tomorrow against Leeds. Looking forward to being back again, though, after the last time being the Wimbledon win. Chris Martinez had a bit of a nightmare, if I'm honest. Should probably have saved the first and the whole penalty. Keith, it was what I would call clever play by Laka. Yeah. Mike personally thought it was a clear penalty. Chris, I thought it was fairly 50-50. Laka got in front of him, but could have gone either way. Gary, it's penalty to me. He goes through back of Laka and had been cautioned multiple times in past season. We wouldn't have got it, but our opponents would have got it. I'll take it. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. And Matt, soft penalty, but he ain't going to complain. So, I mean, obviously, up stepped Pierre-Emerick Aubameyang to put the ball in the back of the net. Now, he missed the penalty. Well, he didn't miss the penalty. Martinez saved the penalty. And Laka came in and got the rebound. Villa fans were complaining that it shouldn't have counted because the ref had blown his whistle. He hadn't. You could clearly see when he blew his whistle, it was to stop play and review the situation. What was your feelings whenever Martinez saved the penalty? What was your gut instinct, G?
Yeah, I was gutted because I just thought to myself, in that split second, it was just like I went from being just, we can put this game to bed right here, right now. And then it was like, oh, we've missed it. So it's like in that split second, it's like, we've kind of wasted a golden opportunity to kind of, go into halftime really in command of this game. But luckily, Aubameyang tucked in the rebound to his own pen. It was Uber that got the he took the penalty, it was saved, and he tucked in the rebound. Yeah. So it was again, Aubameyang was, I've never massively rated his penalties, to be honest. I don't really rate him as a kind of confident penalty taker. I'm not basing that on any stats because I'm not huge on stats. Stats will probably prove me wrong, but I've seen him taking some kind of soft and weak penalties. But to be honest, it was a decent save. But obviously he was in the right position to tuck it away. So at that point, in that split second, I was gutted, but really glad that he was on his toes and he got in a position to tuck it away and obviously put us in a really good position going into half time. I think had that been saved and then obviously we not got the rebound, I think Villa would have been going into the half the much happier side than Arsenal at that point.
Yeah. So I'll say the penalty, I think it was so nice to see Martinez having a little moment with having to be picked up off the ground. The one thing I would say about the penalty, and it's funny because I seen the highlights of the Chelsea game, and Mason Mount got to retake his penalty because the keeper was off the line after he saved it. It would have been interesting if Aubameyang hadn't have put that away on the rebound. Would he have got a chance to take that penalty again? Because if you actually watch the replay, Martinez comes off his line before the ball is struck. And I know this because I watched the game again today.
Okay.
And it was one of the things I was looking out for when I was watching that was the fact that Martinez had come off his line. He had taken a step forward, which you're effectively not allowed to do. So he saved the penalty. Yeah. And if Aubameyang hadn't put it in, would Poston have pulled it back and allowed him to retake it? Probably not, because it's our luck. But it is what it is. So we'll have a couple of comments here because I don't know what's happening with Lottie. There she is. Jamie G, that spider is in an interesting position.
Not anymore.
Not anymore. We were talking about this before, wasn't it? Me and G have gone to the effort of putting Halloween decorations up in the corner of our rooms. Lottie's just not bothering doing anything.
Yeah, I know. It's not good enough, It's really not.
No. No effort.
It's not Friday yet. It's not Friday yet.
Not Friday yet.
Not Friday yet.
We'll talk about that later. Mike, even though he missed the penalty because it was parried out, I had faith that Abba would be there to put in the rebound. Georgina, evening Georgina, how are you? Mike, because of his recent form and how sharp he's looking lately. That's what I was going to say. And I got sidetracked, or not sidetracked, but forgot my train of thought. You were saying, G, about obviously his quality of penalties. For me, personally, Aubameyang would be the third in my list of penalty takers.
Okay.
Pepe first, Lacazette second, and Aubameyang third. So if they're all on the pitch, I would give it to Pepe to take. If not, then Lacazette. And if not, then Aubameyang.
Yeah, no, I agree with that. I'd probably go Lacazette first for me, but yeah, I'd agree with that. Those, Lacazette and Pepe, or Pepe and Lacazette, definitely.
Pepe's a very good penalty taker.
He
really is.
He is.
Gary, I would like to see Lacazette take penalty kicks as he was chatting with Emmy prior to the kick. He was trying to get in his head. That would have shut up Emmy. Obba's put back to the same. Yeah, Charlie, even Charlie, how are you? Even Legends. Jamie, Stephen has a Halloween themed fascinator. It's just my little hat.
All you're missing is the Alice band. Then again, Jack Grealish has actually trademarked that. The Alice band. Don't wear it no more, but he's trademarked it.
Sorry, I'm sure Keith could lend me one. Speaking of which, Keith, great follow-up, but to be fair, I've been on his case for the last year, but the rebound was not an easy finish, so fair play to him there. No, it wasn't, and he kicked it into the ground, actually. It was almost a Mesut type finish.
Yeah.
And Mike saying hello to Georgina. So, Lottie, what was your feelings on the penalty?
Do you know what? I'm just glad it went back in the net because I've never seen a goalkeeper exit that pitch so quickly when that whistle goes at half-time. He didn't walk, he practically ran down that tunnel because it got to the point where the Arsenal fans were saying he's better than you, Aaron Ramsdale, he's better than you. I mean, that was a new one. There's another one, but I just can't remember off the top of my head. No, that's it. You're a poo, Aaron Ramsdale. That was going around as well. So it was really, really good. I'm just relieved it went in and we had that 2-0 cushion at halftime. It was needed. Yeah. If it went in as 1-0, they would have come out for a fight, I reckon.
And it's funny that you should say that about the chant for Ramsdale and Martinez. I seen a post, someone had posted about that on Twitter. And the Villa fans, going on about how we're always in your thoughts. You can't stop going on about us. You're upset. And it was funny because I had put up a post as well. I don't know, he's probably seen it, the one about Emi Buendia.
I did.
Has anybody seen it? Missing?
Yeah.
I just, do you know what? I've got to be honest. I was looking forward to seeing him play. And I was so disappointed. I was so disappointed after watching him at Carrow Road all of last season. I think I put something out there that he lit up Carrow Road last season and Villa Park are still waiting. Or something to that effect. They are still waiting. He absolutely lit up Carrow Road.
I put up that post and one of the Villa fan channels tweeted it with a picture of one of the banners from inside Villa Park which says Villa, it's an obsession. So trying to make off that we're obsessed with them this rivalry they're trying to create, it's just laughable. And we talked about this during the summer whenever they were embarrassing themselves trying to sign Smith Rowe for 25 million. It really was. So Antonio, being the optimist full and I still think top 4 or 5 or 5th place is attainable for us. It is.
It is at the moment.
If things go well, it is. Charlie over the moon, we won. Spurs lost and United got slapped. Plus, to be fair, I always fancy Aubameyang for penalties. Martinez looked off his line, to be fair. Yeah, he was, absolutely. He was. And Tom, I've never seen a VAR decision go in our favour.
And do you know what? It was Michael Oliver on there, and you were dreading it, weren't you, Stephen?
I was.
You was absolutely dreading it when you saw that man's name down.
Yeah. I can't stand Michael Oliver, yet somehow my second child is called Oliver Michael.
That's cool.
How does that figure? So, yeah, we went down 2-0 up at half time. And I have to say, I was buzzing. I just genuinely couldn't see Villa getting back into that game. And I was a bit concerned. I kind of thought, well, they're going to have to change something at halftime. Whether they change their formation, whether they change some players. But Villa have to do something to get back into this. And for about the first 30 seconds of the second half, they looked like they were up again. And then it all just went back to Arsenal dominating. And it didn't take too long before before this man broke through and put the ball in the back of the net, albeit off a deflection. 55 minutes in, and we're 3-0 up. Lottie, how are you feeling when Smith Rowe broke through?
Oh God, just watching him make the run in the first place. He was on his own. He was off. There was no Villa player catching that kid. I mean, as soon as it went in, stadium lit up for a good couple of minutes, and it was just so good to see him bringing that form back from England and finally getting it back in the net. I'm hoping for another, I might be reaching here, but another 20 from him this season at least. But we've got a long way to go. Gee, I can see you laughing at me. So I don't care. I'm hoping for another 20 from this kid, of 20 minimum at the moment. But I absolutely love him. I really do. 20 minimum for the season. Got a long ways to go yet, boys. All competitions, not just the league. Yeah.
Okay. I was critical of him after the Palace game. We discussed it last week, and obviously, G had been very critical of Odegaard. Yeah. And I had said at the time that actually I felt Smith Rowe was every bit, if not as bad, on the night against Palace. For me, he was missing most of that game. So for me, it was so pleasing to see the performance he put in against Villa the other night. He was absolutely phenomenal. And when you think of the fact that, fans wanted Buendia as our number 10 last summer. And we're not going to sit here and pretend we didn't. We wanted Buendia as well. We thought, he looks a decent player, and we were all for him coming. But we give the number 10 shirt to Smith Rowe, and he proved the doubters right, including myself on Friday night. So, I mean, G, what was your thoughts when you seen him going through on goal?
Yeah, it's it's like, there are times when I will really criticize Arsenal and Arsenal players, but I have to be honest, like I do have a somewhat bias when it comes to Smith Rowe, Saka, and some of the Hale End boys. And that's just because I'm very much aware that, they are Hale End boys, they're Arsenal, kind of homegrown players, and their game's still developing. They're kids, they're young, and I feel as though they're performing above and beyond their years at the moment, and even more so than they should be for a club of our size. At the same time, I think it's amazing that we have the likes of Saka and Smith Rowe, in our team, that are getting these opportunities, being given these big shirts, number 7, number 10, and getting opportunities. So as much as we're always crying out for, bigger and flashier signings, it's really nice that we have, homegrown players that are in our team and that are very influential, but we also need to protect them. So, I don't have a problem with, criticizing them, constructively criticizing them or kind of calling out on a poor performance, as you did, Stephen, because obviously you do it with class and grace. But it's just like a lot of Arsenal fans that necessarily when the youngsters don't do well and they kind of go in on them on social media. I'm really not a fan of that because these boys are kids, and they're our own, so we kind of need to protect them, more so when they play badly than when they play well. But I think he's an exceptional talent. I honestly do. I think he's an exceptional talent, and it's really nice. I feel like this season I don't know what the stats are, but I feel like he's just getting amongst the goals and the assists a lot more this season than he did last season. So yeah, I'm just really happy for him. I think an England call-up is not too far away, and I mean for the senior side, particularly. So yeah, just I don't think he'll get 20 goals. Sorry, Lottie. I don't.
It's a long season. We're only on game week 9.
But
we'll get to 38 yet.
At the same time, I think if he can get 20 goal kind of contributions through goals and assists, I think even that is a bit far-fetched. But I think if there's any type of improvement on last season, then he's making progress, and I'm happy with that.
He's scoring already. That is progress.
Yeah, he is.
So
that's what I mean. For me, when it comes to Saka and Smith Rowe, I just want to see them progress season on season on season. Yeah, and if that means them getting the odd goal more, the odd assist more, then I'm happy with that. Because, like I said, I feel like they're beyond already. So I'm just happy for the kid. I love him. I love Saka, and I'm just glad to see that they're in the shirt. They're doing well, and if they can do that consistently throughout the season, then I'm happy.
Yeah. The only thing, obviously you're saying there about the England call-up. The only thing for me, yes, he's good enough to play for England. He absolutely is. He's in a difficult time because you've got the likes of
so much competition.
Mount banging in a hat-trick against Norwich for Chelsea and is a great player. And you've also got Phil Foden down at City, or up at City, who's a phenomenal talent. Mm-hmm. And they're all sort of competing for that same sort of position. Yep. And that is going to hinder the amount of appearances he gets for England.
And I'm okay with that, personally.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. Like, I'm obviously for him, I think it's great, because I know some Arsenal fans, are kind of happy when the likes of Saka and Smith Rowe don't get call-ups. Because obviously we want to protect them, keep them fit, etc., etc. But, I think for them personally, in terms of their development, in terms of their career, it's good when they get England call-ups because they obviously want to represent their nation. At the same time, if there's an abundance of talent within the England side and they don't really need called up, I put my Arsenal hat on, and to be honest, I'm okay with it because there's so many games in the season that these boys can get overplayed to a certain extent. But yeah, if he's gonna get into that England side, he's got his work cut out because there's some really good talent. But saying that, he is a very good player, and I think give him time, he will definitely be competing with the likes of those players for that England spot.
Okay, so a couple more comments then. Gary, Smith wrote flashbacks of his international break goal. Easy peasy. LOL. Keith, my guy. Chris, what tattoo will G get if ESR scores another 20?
I spotted that as you were talking, and I thought I'm going to wait for Stephen to pull this one up just to see what he says.
Nah. I'm not taking it yet. We'll see. How many goals has he got so far?
2, I think, this season.
3
in all competitions.
Keith, how many goals has he got? Keith,
I think he's got 3. I think he's got 3 in all competitions.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jimmy saying, is it 20 goals and assists or 20 goals just?
Well, technically, according to Lottie, it would mean he'd have to score 23 because she said 20 more.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
You and your bloody loopholes. If he gets to 20, I'm happy for the season.
The Smith tattoo.
Ooh, that's a good shout, Gary.
I'm thinking about it. I'll come back to you guys. I'll come back to you.
You know, at some point
they just want to ink you, Steve. That's all they want to do.
Tattoos.
That's what my missus said. My missus said, "Listen, just stop it. You had the whole Arteta in business. Now you've got the blonde hair coming out. She was like, listen, I don't want you covered in like all Arsenal, like tattoos everywhere.
Albert JTV has entered the chat. Big up Cannon Chatter. Big up Albert. How are you?
Albert.
Good to have you with us.
There you
Gary,
go.
I know in the last 5 games, 3 goals, 2 assists.
That's top form.
That is top form. It's lovely because I'm raking the fantasy football points in on him.
5 goal contributions in 5 games.
We're not talking about fantasy football.
I'm raking the points in.
I had a really good week.
I had a very good week.
72 points, I think.
107.
We'll talk about it later.
And you didn't tell me.
I won't talk about it.
I'm so pleased with myself. It's ridiculous.
So yeah, 82 minutes in, and Villa pulled one back. Any nerves that we're going to throw it away and give up the points?
Nah, not from me. I mean, if Emi Buendia turned up, I would be worried, but not at all.
I wasn't nervous that we were going to throw it away, but I was very kind of anxious as to what the next kind of 5 to 10 minutes was going to hold. But yeah, I was pretty confident we was going to keep hold of it, but I can't lie. The thought did cross my mind. I have to be honest. It did. I thought, we better not let these guys back into this game. And I think there was a I think it was a long throw and a half chance for Ollie Watkins. He kind of at 3-1, I think the ball kind of came in. Everybody kind of missed it, but he kind of stuck out a leg. And I think that would have made it very interesting because I think that chance came with about 10 minutes or so to go. But, I think, they personally, they didn't deserve to get back into the game. And we ensured that they didn't. So happy days.
Okay. Well, we're nearly finished summing up the game. But what we're going to do, we're going to take a wee break for a wee second, just to give everybody an opportunity to hit that like button. We've got 11 likes on there so far, so we're going to play a wee quick break video like we do, and that gives you all time to make sure and hit that like button, and if you hadn't hit the subscribe button, hit that now as well. Okay, so before we give our sort of closing thoughts on the actual game itself and sort of sum it up, I want to pick out 2 players to have a bit of a chat about. The first one was the man I said should come in last Wednesday night when we did the preview show, which was Nuno Tavares. G, what was your opinion on his performance on the night?
I thought he was brilliant. In all honesty, I thought he was fantastic. And I don't think this guy has disappointed since pre-season. I think since the moment I've seen him in an Arsenal shirt, he's been brilliant every single time. I think there was, there were some concerns, and I wouldn't necessarily say concerns, but there were some question marks about his defensive side of things, because obviously I think a lot of the stuff we'd seen in pre-season was him, in an offensive kind of area, getting forward, etc. But that's just a massive part of his game. And obviously that kind of, grabs the attention is because, he is so quick, he's so strong, he gets into promising positions. But from what I've seen, like, don't get me wrong, I've not, analyzed the guy's performance, down to every fine detail. But defensively, I've not seen any kind of errors or major concerns with regards how he's playing. But yeah, he's been absolutely fantastic. And obviously, we wanted a left back, to cover for Tierney, who, in most of our eyes is our first team left back, and probably, will continue to be. However, this guy is a problem for Tierney. I'm gonna be completely honest. He's an issue. It's a good problem to have at Arsenal, but Tierney has definitely got his work cut out in keeping this guy out of the side, because from what I've seen, and that's by no means, not forgetting all the great work that Tierney has and continues to do for Arsenal. But yeah, we've got a real competition on our hands in terms of left back at Arsenal, because this guy's not, but from what I've seen in terms of his performances, this guy's not here to just make up the numbers whatsoever. He's got, from what I can see, all the attributes, both defensively and offensively, to be Arsenal's first team left back. So I think we're in a very privileged position to have two really, really, really good left backs. So yeah, I'm happy with his performance, and to be honest, I'm happy with all the performances I've seen of him anytime he's in an Arsenal shirt. So yeah, hope Tierney gets better soon. Welcome him back as soon as possible. But yeah, real fight on his hands to keep his spot, in my opinion.
Okay, Lottie, you're on mute.
Yep, just apologising. No, do you know what? He was absolutely incredible. I mean, he was making the right runs. He should have scored. I mean, he was just having a brilliant game. But I don't expect anything less from an ex-winger turned fullback. I don't expect anything less because he likes it. From watching him, like, I know YouTube makes anyone look phenomenal, but from watching the odd game back that you can actually find on YouTube, he likes to try and score, and it's something that I feel Tierney at the moment, he's getting forward, but he's not making the right passes. Whether that's because he's tired, because he's on international duty with Scotland, or whichever, I don't know. But he's injured for the moment, unfortunately, and Tavares is here to stay.
Yeah, I mean, I thought he was excellent, and as you say, I think Tierney's got his hands full when he comes back. For me right now, based on the performances this season so far, I'd probably be picking Tavares. So, Tierney needs to up his game again. He's been a little bit missing for me in recent weeks. Despite the fact that we've played better, I think that Tierney's almost been one of our poorer players. So hopefully this, spurs him on, gets him back to his best, because Tierney is, he's a class player.
Yeah,
we know that. He's absolutely phenomenal. Excuse me, but it's great to finally have backup in that position. That you're not worried about if Tierney's out injured, what we're going to do. We can have confidence that we have a player can come in and put in top class performances. So yeah, absolutely great. Let me just do this. Gary saying, I know in the last 5 games, 3 goals, 2 assists, I think. Keith, yeah, agreeing, 3 goals, 2 assists in the Premier League and Carabao Cup. Jamie started the week in 12th, tied 10th, finished in 12th. Captain Mo. Keith, I think Tavares gave us a ridiculous back 3-5 option as well as pushing KT. Didn't really see enough of him defending on Friday, but going forward, beast mode. Yeah, I mean, absolutely. If we were in a position that we had to go 3, sort of 3 at the back, you could put Kieran Tierney into that sort of left-sided centre back with Gabriel and Ben White, have Tommy Asu out on the right and Tavares on the left. And that's a good strong 5. If we were to go back to that sort of route. Okay, so the other player I want to pick up on was actually one of our substitutes. And I just want to see, trying to see what. Come on, 67 minutes.
I have a feeling I know who you're going to bring up.
I know exactly who's bringing up.
Martin Odegaard.
Yeah.
Came on after 67 minutes for Lacazette, and to be fair, Lacazette was tiring. You could see that, and I was okay with Lacazette coming off because he'd put in a shift and a half. But Odegaard came on, and for me, noticeably, the pace of our play dropped dramatically. We were nowhere near as quick or as fluid, and I was surprised because, I mean, for me, Odegaard, he is that sort of link-up player. He is a player that should be able to move the ball very, very quickly, but he seemed to slow everything down, and it's not like him. And I know, G, you've been sort of very critical of him, so I mean, what's your thoughts on this? What's going on with Odegaard at the minute?
You know what? I really don't know. Odegaard's one of those players like really splits fan opinion. And anytime I've said anything on Twitter, I've had people agree and I've had people like literally like trying to lynch me on social media. It's a tough one, and I think I've got to go all the way back to last season in that, we were in a very, fragile position when we signed Odegaard on loan from Madrid. And although I don't think I think if we're going to be honest as Arsenal fans, I don't think we were overwhelmed by the fact that we signed him on loan. I think we were looking for an attacking midfielder to come in and compete with Smith Rowe due to kind of like injuries and just like kind of lack of, squad depth and competition. He came in and I wasn't, I think a part of me was biased because he wasn't a permanent signing. I would admit that. I even had conversations with both of you, I know, as well as, probably mostly you, Stephen, where I said that, I kind of didn't want to fall in love with the idea of Odegaard because I kind of knew he was going back to Madrid. So in a way, I was kind of holding back in terms of like, seeing how he played and so forth. But for me, just based on his performances, I wasn't blown away. And obviously I know we have to take into context all the, he was only here for a certain amount of time. He had to settle in, transition, new league, etc. But yeah, I wasn't blown away. Now, obviously the summer came and he wasn't at the top of my list in terms of attacking midfielders to bring in. There were others that I would have preferred, notably Maddison, Aouar. Well, I'm no expert in football, and it just shows because Maddison so far has had a shocking season. So equally, if we didn't bring him in, we could have brought in Maddison, and who knows, he could have been awful. He could have been great. We could have brought in Aouar. Similarly, could have been great, could have been awful, not been able to settle in. So I think with all transfers, it's a bit of a risk involved, but I'm not convinced by Odegaard. I say it again, I'm not completely convinced. I think so far we've seen performances where he's looked really fantastic. Like, against Spurs, he was really good, but the whole team played well. He scored a free kick in one of the Premier League games, which was obviously the key moment because we won the game in a game where there wasn't many opportunities or chances. So we've seen glimpses of what he can do and how well he can play. But then we've also seen, I would say the last three performances have been really poor. Against Brighton, he was non-existent, but then the team played badly. Against Palace, he wasn't great. But again, generally, apart from the first 20 minutes, we had a poor game as a team. And even coming on against Villa, you kind of thought, well, that was a really good opportunity to come on. We're comfortably winning the game. And the performance, again, wasn't fantastic. Maybe he was brought on for that very reason, which was to kind of slow the game, control the midfield. I don't know, but in all honesty, I'm not convinced by Odegaard. I really am not. I wasn't convinced during the loan spell. I wasn't convinced. I was underwhelmed when we signed him in the summer. And so far, I'm kind of 50-50. I've seen what he can do, and I've also seen what he can't do, which when he's not on form, he doesn't do very much at all. So I don't know, in all honesty. I'm not writing him off because I think at the end of the day, he has only played, we are only 8-9 games into the Premier League season, but he's definitely one of the players that massively does split fan opinion. And for me, I'm not convinced. I'm not sure of his long-term future at Arsenal, but I'm willing to support the guy, and I hope he proves me wrong because he's definitely a quality player. I'm just not sure he's gonna do it long-term at Arsenal or even the Premier League. But yeah, for me, not been great recently, and I hope he improves.
Okay. Lottie, any thoughts on Odegaard?
It's just inconsistent at the moment, but I'm not writing him off yet. I'm still sticking. I might have thought the other day when I was listening to you guys, I might have been wrong about that smart buy, and I've thought about it a bit more, and I think, do you know what? I'm just going to stick with what I said. He is a smart buy from what was available on the market and what obviously was left of a budget.
No, I agree there. To be honest, even though I know we have different opinions on some of the players and some of the performances, Lottie, but at the same time, I think given what we paid for him, it was a no-brainer. It was an absolute no-brainer, given what we'd already spent, what was available on the market, and a player of his quality. I'm not saying he's not a good player, and I think that's what a lot of our other Arsenal fans kind of say to me. Oh, you're calling him crap. I'm not saying that. But I'm just judging him based on his performances. And I can't sit here and say I'm happy with his general performances. But yeah, based on, the pedigree and the quality he has, what we got him for, yeah, it was a smart buy. Definitely.
Okay. Keith saying Tavares is also a fantastic musician. Tom saying it was getting cold around that time.
70 minutes. 70 minutes, it gets cold in those stands. I can tell you that now. They're lucky they're moving around.
Gary, Odegaard's previous 2 matches haven't been good. Not sure he had a good international break. ESR and Laka hopefully are showing him what he needs to do and how to play. Absolutely. And just while I've got Gary's name up on the screen, just to let you know, Gary is doing his show on the Red Cannon tonight, 12:30 UK time, featuring none other than yours truly. Because I wasn't able to make last week's show, I did promise I would do tonight's, and I'm really looking forward to that. So I'll see you at 12:30, Gary. And hopefully, if you guys are still up, tune in and have a watch. Keith, Odegaard is a 23-year-old international captain signed from Real, but he needs to up his levels because he's a luxury sub right now. A bit Ozil for me currently. Yeah, I mean, my concern with Odegaard is that if we are going to go to a 4-4-2, how does he fit in?
Yeah.
That's the thing.
Yeah.
He could play as that player off the striker, but if we're going to a 4-4-2, it's to accommodate players like Lacazette, who, if you're going to say to me, who do you put in that role, Lacazette or Odegaard? Lacazette, based off the performance the other night, and based off what we've seen Lacazette do before in that sort of role. It's Lacazette all day long. Can Odegaard play as an out-and-out central midfielder? I'm not sure he can, because he struggled against Palace being that wee bit further back when he was trying to partner party. So I worry as to where Odegaard's going to fit into this team if we do move to a 4-4-2 formation. Gary, looking forward to having you on the show tonight. Stephen, chat room, if you can't sleep, join us. Absolutely, do indeed. So, Lottie, final whistle, 3-1, 3 points. We move up the table slightly, albeit we've moved up to 10th. Can you sum up the game for us and your sort of feelings at the end?
Revenge is best served cold. That is the easiest way I can tell it. I mean, as much as Emmy irritates the poo out of me, I'm just glad we taught a lesson. I do think the fans eventually got inside his head, and it did get to him. And after hearing about what he takes Aubameyang apparently, and it makes it a bit sweeter. And it's just like walking out, just everyone happy, making us, Villa think they can compete with us. Yeah, okay, see you later. It's just good vibes everywhere coming out of that ground.
Excellent. G, sum up the game. Your final sort of thoughts on that match?
Yeah, so I've been really critical of Arsenal this season so far with some of the performances, and I wanted a really positive performance, more so than a result. And I got both a positive performance and a positive result. So really, really happy. I'm just now looking for Arsenal to be more consistent. But final thoughts is, listen, there was never a rivalry, so keep it quiet.
Excellent.
I love it.
So, yeah.
I could say something else on my Twitter, but I'm not going to say that on the live.
So listen, 3-1, it's 3 more points on the board. We're up to 14 points. We're a point off 5th place after 9 games, albeit we're sitting in 10th. But, considering we have played City and Chelsea, we've played Spurs, we've had some tough games in there. Brentford, who were a tougher game than Spurs, to be fair.
Yeah.
It's not... Yeah, we want to be higher than 10th, but you're starting to see it go in the right direction. And the other side of it is, we have the youngest squad, or the youngest first team in the league. And they're going to make mistakes, but, you can see they're learning. And you can see the level of performance on Friday night was so much different than the level of performance on Monday night. The passing was crisper. The mentality was sharper. The running, the attitude was just so much better. And, when we went to goal up, the heads didn't drop down. We didn't suddenly sit back. We went at them again. and we went at them, and we went at them, and we went at them. We were winning the tackles. When we were losing the ball, we were getting it back quickly. And we didn't do that against Palace. So it's clear, that we can do it. And obviously Arteta has said something to them during the week. So if we start to see that level of performance every week, we're not going to win every game. We're not going to go the rest of the season unbeaten. But we're going to do a hell of a lot better than we thought we were. And it's, it shows we're on the right road. A couple of decent signings in January. We could get into the top 6. Next summer, another sort of 6-player change. And all of a sudden, next season, there's no reason why we couldn't be competing with this team.
Yeah.
It's going to be tough because, when teams like Chelsea and, City can throw billions around, it's always going to be tough, but there's no reason why we can't be up there competing. So, all in all, I was pleased. I was delighted, and as I say, still buzzing off it today. Chris Odegaard can be our very own Norwegian super sub, who in 10 years' time can become club manager. All right. So listen, let's move on. Back in business tomorrow night. We have a cup game against Leeds. Are we home or away tomorrow night?
We're at home. I'm going tomorrow. Yep.
Yeah. Sorry, I'll just read this comment from Keith. The thing that makes me happiest is that I'm starting to see direction in footballing philosophy. I accept we will be inconsistent, but I'm feeling positive. Yeah, absolutely. So yes, tomorrow night we are home to Leeds in the Carabao Cup. Now, we're going to do something slightly different tonight in terms of our preview. And before, obviously, what we've done, and if you're familiar with the show and you've been with us for a while, you'll know that what we generally do is we have 2 or 3 of us will select a lineup and we'll run through our lineup and the reasons why. We're kind of noticing our shows are going on that bit longer and longer, and we're trying to cut back the time a wee bit again, just to try and make it a bit more entertaining and not bore everybody to death when G starts talking for an hour. You'll also notice, and we'll talk about this after, we're cutting some of the content out that we have been doing. We're not losing it. It will still be coming your way. It'll just be coming in a different format. So what I've done is I've selected the team this week that I think this is what I would like to see tomorrow night. And I'll run through it and I'll give you a couple of reasons. And then obviously I'll give you guys an opportunity then what changes you would make. If there's anybody different you would play in here or what you think. Or for you guys in the chat, if you like the team, let us know. Or if there's changes you would make, drop in the reasons why. Scott, happy for your shows to stay long. The more canon chatter, the better. Thank you, Scott. We appreciate that. About 3 hours the other night killed my voice. Although that's not to say this Friday might not be a 3-hour show. Who knows?
Oh, we're gonna. Yeah.
Good morning or evening, all. Morning, Scott. How are you? Thanks for joining us all the way from Australia. So yeah, the team I sort of would like to see tomorrow night. I've gone with Leno in goal. Just because I think, obviously, Ramsdale has very much inserted himself as the number 1 in the Premier League. So we need to still get Leno some games, just in case. I know Arteta's not a big fan of changing the keeper, same way Pep isn't a big fan of changing keeper. But for me, I do think rotation is important because I do think these squad players need to be match ready if they're needed. So I do think it's important that they're getting some games. So for me, I go with Leno in goal. Same reason then at right back, I've gone with Cedric. Tomiyasu's obviously played every game since he's been at the club, and he's basically, apart from Brighton where he was substituted off, has played every minute. So I'd give him a bit of a break, let Cedric have a game. Put Holding in instead of Ben White. I thought Ben White had a very good game.
Yeah, he did.
Against Villa. He really upped his level. It was great to see some of them runs that he was making.
Yeah.
But again, he's played every minute since he's been back from COVID. So maybe just an opportunity to give him a wee break, a wee breather. Gabriel, I'm just not confident in Mari anymore. And the last thing I want to see is Kalashnik play at centre-back. So I would keep Gabriel in there as sort of one of two players, sort of consistent players that I want to see sort of starting every game. And then Tavares, I would play him just again because Tierney's obviously still injured, and I don't want to see Kalashnik play at left back. And I don't want to see us ever in the position where we're dropping Saka back into left back ever again. I kept the 4-4-2 formation. I'm going with El Neni and Partey in midfield. Again, just to keep Partey's fitness up. Get him on, even if he only plays for 60 minutes tomorrow night, and bring on Maitland-Niles or someone to replace him, or even give Sambi another run out. Then Pepe, got to get straight back into the team. Pepe needs the minutes, and Saka needs the break.
Yeah.
Got Martinelli on the other wing, just purely because, again, Martinelli's another one that needs minutes. And then I've gone with Lacazette playing again that sort of number 10 role just off the striker. And I want to see Balogun up front. I don't want to see Eddie Nketiah because he's going at the end of the season. And I really don't care whether Eddie Nketiah gets minutes or not. But Balogun is a potential future superstar for this club. And I want to see him start to get some minutes. So that's the team I've gone with. I think, Leeds aren't going to play a full-strength squad because Leeds are struggling a little bit in the Premier League this season. And I think they'll want to put all their focus on the league. So I think, this is a team that could comfortably win that game. G, what's your thoughts on that lineup? Would you change anybody out? What do you think?
I think everything, all the players you've put together there and the reasons why I think makes perfect sense. I think it's a revised or rotated side, but you've kind of kept the spine, if that's the right word, in terms of like obviously no Ramsdale, but I think giving Leno games is really important, as you said. But I think it's nice to see Gabriel, Partey, and particularly Lacazette in the side, because I think Gabriel has really probably been the standout performer defensively this season. So it'd be good for him to keep his spot and kind of keep that consistency. He's just very, he's a commanding presence in that back four. Partey, I just think, we've had him for a while now, and he seems to kind of be clicking, his play and his performances seem to be kind of clicking into place. So I think just he's never been a person to struggle for fitness or anything like that before Arsenal. So I think if he is clicking and the wheels are rolling now, he'll just be able to, play games, week in, week out, etc. So I think it's good to see him there. And I think with Lacazette's, kind of recent inclusion into the team, resurgence, as an Arsenal player, I think it would be good to see him there. So it's nice that you've got that kind of, senior player kind of spine in the side, but then in and around that, you've dotted it with, obviously squad players, the likes of Holding and Cedric, as well as some players with a bit of a point to prove, as well. The likes of Pepe, Martinelli, not a point to prove more, but more just he needs minutes. He needs an opportunity to shine. At the moment, players that are ahead of him are performing well, so it's difficult to kind of drop them. So this gives him an opportunity to kind of have his chance. And yeah, El Nene, this is a type of game for him. He's solid. He can give Partey, a partner in the middle there, and it will be nice to see Balogun. We were all so thrilled, to have him stick around, but then it's not quite gone the way I think most of us had envisioned. That's not necessarily to mean it's not going well, because Arsenal would have had a plan, in and around his future that, we probably didn't have. So yeah, I like the team, to be honest. I think it's a good team. I didn't know this team before the show. So you kind of put me on the spot in terms of who I would, take out or put in. But if I saw this team tomorrow, I'd be happy. I wouldn't have any complaints. I think we could sit here and debate, Ainsley might get a chance or, et cetera, et cetera. But no, I'm happy with the team you've picked. I think it's a nice blend of the squad in terms of who's available, etc. So yeah, good team.
Okay. Wally?
Do you know what? I think with most of these players you've got on here, they do need the minutes. Me and G were talking about AFCON before you logged in, Stephen, and we're going to be basically missing two-thirds of our spine when they go, and it's the players that you've got in there. They will be replacing them, so they definitely need the minutes. I mean, I'm not complaining about that, but you say you need to rest, but you need to rest Saka. I'm going to tell you this now: that kid will be on that sideline just watching the game and wanting to be involved. I think when I was at Wimbledon, he was warming up with Smith Rowe on the side. The pair of them, you could see that they were just itching to get onto that pitch, so they will get their minutes if they are on that bench, which is more than likely. But yeah, no, I'm happy with that. I wouldn't really make any changes at all.
Okay. You guys in the chat, if there's anybody you would change up, let me know. I'm going to just bring that off the screen for a wee sec. So, Keith Saliba.
I muted that word on Twitter. Life is good. I don't have to see that it's anything to do with him ever again. I'm so happy.
Tom, I felt really proud of the lads going home from start to finish. Everyone did a great job, I thought. I remember after the Palace game 4 days before, we were lackluster. We were hot and cold always. Gary, I love rum and coke, but no cola tomorrow. Please, please. Brilliant. Tom, where's Eddie off to? Well, his contract's up at the end of the season, so he'll be away on a free transfer somewhere.
Yeah.
Jamie, very interesting team, Stephen, ticking a lot of boxes. Few rested fringe players, especially Martinelli and Balogun, getting another chance. Come January, could be using these guys. Yeah, absolutely, with the AFCON, as Lottie said. I put Ainsley Maitland-Niles in for minutes with AFCON. He could be important from Keith. Yeah,
good point.
That's a fair shout. It's a fair shout. And it's interesting that Maitland-Niles got minutes the other night when the likes of El-Neni's not getting minutes. You know, so maybe Arteta sees something like
start.
Lottie, you want to say something there?
Yeah, no, I'm just thinking about Keith's comment, and I think I'd switch out El Sideways for Maitland-Niles now. Keith has a very good point.
Okay.
Because he's going to be off. Basically, your midfield is not going to be there in January from that team sheet. So, yeah, it's a good point.
Let's just hope we dip in the market, I say.
Get Gamara's in already.
NDB30, evening, how are you? Rest Gabriel. I was saying that, you know, for me, the option when you rest Gabriel is you've got to play Mari. You know, rather you're not going to play Kalashnik there. So I'm just not. I worry if you put the likes of Bamford in for Leeds. You know, if Bamford was to play tomorrow night, then was he out injured at the minute?
He's injured, yeah.
Oh, that's all right then.
He's out for a while.
Some players that could cause Mari problems. So
yeah,
it's a difficult one.
But it's also, I think you're also picking that team, if you know, correct me if I'm wrong, with the view that, you know, we want to go far in this competition as well.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? So as much as, you know, it's all well and good, you know, I can understand the arguments for resting players, rotating the squad, etc., etc. But at the same time, you know, given the fact that we're not in Europe, and even if we were in Europe, I you know, I'm definitely one of the Arsenal fans that, you know, for me, silverware, you know, so, you know, even more so that we're not in Europe now. You know, I can't remember the last time we even won, you know, the Carabao Cup. So for me, you know, a good cup run allows us to rotate the squad, but then also gives us a realistic opportunity to actually win some silverware. And, you know, for any Arsenal fan that, you know, kind of looks at it as a bit of a tin pot cup, then you just need to ask Man City, because I think they've won it. Is it 4 times in a row now?
Yeah.
There you go. Silverware.
And winning breeds winning. That's the other thing.
It.
You get a winning culture. You win one trophy.
Yeah.
You'll win more. Chris, I think it's a good team. You can play Saka or ESR, but if they get injured, then we've buggered in a game. We really don't need to play them in.
Yeah, good team.
Absolutely. Okay, so any score predictions for tomorrow night, Lottie?
3-0 Arsenal.
3-0 Arsenal. G?
I'll go 2-0 Arsenal. I think it will be. I think, given the circumstances you said, I think Leeds will rest players. I think Arteta will go strong, so I'm going to go 2-0.
Okay. I'm going to say 2-1. What about you guys in the chat? Any score predictions? Game is on BT Sport in the UK. I'm not sure, obviously, in terms of other countries. So I unfortunately don't have my BT Sport logins anymore. So I will have to try and find a stream somewhere. NW30 saying 3-1 to the Arsenal. Keith 2-0 the Arsenal. Gary 2-0 the Arsenal. So everybody's fairly confident. You know, we're on a run. That would be 7 games without defeat if we win that tomorrow. So you know, it's good. You're starting to see. The nice thing is to see we're not losing games. You know, some of those games that we've drawn. You know, the Palace game we could have easily lost. The Brighton game wouldn't have taken much to lose that game. You know, so it's good to see that the spirit's there that we're not losing those games, albeit we want to get the 3 points from them. But you know, games like that where we could have lost and we would have lost in the past, it's nice to see that the team is rallying and fighting to the last minute. We last won the League Cup in '93. Yep, against Sheffield Wednesday.
Bloody hell, that means I've never seen it happen. Oh my God, that's scary.
Yeah, I think I was 8. Yeah, long time ago.
I was 12 months old. That makes you feel better.
Yeah, a little
Not
bit.
even that.
It's 8 games without defeat if we beat Leeds. All right. Right. Lottie, do you want to talk about fantasy football then?
Yeah, I do. I mean, I had a really very extremely good week. Got 107 points, which got me away from that 100th spot and back up into 68th this week, which has made me feel pretty good. How did you guys do? I haven't actually looked at how you guys did, so you might need to tell me.
I went from about 200th to about 187 or 185.
Very nice.
But yeah, I had a decent week. I got 72 points. Obviously, I captained Salah, and that helped me along the way. But yeah, so yeah, I had a better week than I have. But yeah, just want to kind of build on that and get better and better. But yeah, still a lot of work to do. I don't think I'm ever going to catch you, Lottie. But I don't know how many points Stevens is on, so I want to try and get a bit closer to him. But other than that, yeah.
Well, I got 49 points. Which was, yeah, really crap. Pogba got me -2.
Oh, God, yeah.
Thanks for that. And I had captained Ronaldo and he got me 2 points.
Yeah,
you did say you captained the wrong person, didn't you?
Yeah, I think my wild card may come into play this week. I am currently 161st.
How many points you got, Stephen?
Let me just check here for you. 439.
Okay.
What did you say you were? There you are. 411.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Okay,
so
what
only
about
28 points behind?
All right then.
Yes, I think the wild card may come into play.
Sounds like a good shout. Have you used yours yet?
No.
No.
I'm saving mine, but yeah, there's no point.
You get a new one in January.
Yeah.
Use it.
To be honest, at the moment, I'm pretty happy with my team. But yeah, I might mix it up. I might mix it up before the weekend.
Mm-hmm.
I might mix it up.
Anything else you want to talk about on that, Lottie?
Next, well, obviously at the top at the moment, I'm Kareem with Phantom Troops, which is a very good name, by the way, is sitting at the top with 643. And obviously last week's leader, who was Malcolm Dealey, where has he gone? I've lost him on the list. Oh wow, he's dropped quite a bit actually. Actually got a square. He's dropped out. Blood. Wow. He's actually dropped down to 17th from first place.
Wow.
Big difference.
Just goes to show what one week can do.
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, I've had a bad run for a bit, but now I'm back and I'm like, yes. Because I've used my wild card. Oh, gee, come on, come catch me. This is boring on my own. Hurry up. Pull your fingers
I'm
around.
trying.
No, you're not. No, you're not. You go, no.
I think you may need to do a sort of a proper roundup some night, Lottie.
Yeah,
no, definitely.
Some hints and tips and stuff like that from people who are doing well.
I can't leak my secrets, otherwise I wouldn't be doing so well.
Team player. Right. Read a couple more comments. Ryan FC. Is that a new name to the chat tonight? Not one I recognise.
I think that's Rise View from Twitter. I think. I'm not 100%. I recognise the name though.
Okay, welcome to the show. If you are new to the channel, make sure and hit the subscribe button. Hi everyone, hope you're all well. Feeling a bit down at the minute, but hopefully feel better soon. Ryan, DMs are always open. If you ever need a chat, just give anyone of us a wee DM. We're always happy to have a chat, and if there's anything we can do to help make you feel a bit better, let us know. Chris only won it twice in the club's history, which surprised me. The Carabao Cup, yeah, we have. Obviously, we got beat by Birmingham a few years back.
Yeah.
Obafemi Martins
That was not a good memory.
A bit of a screamer that day. GME party now 5-1 from 7-1 anytime at the weekend. Bookie's getting scared. Oh, so it's just over 45-1 for party anytime 3-0.
Ooh, which bookies is that? I might stick a pound on that.
Yeah, but we'll obviously, we'll talk about the Leicester game on Friday night on our Leicester preview show. Calling it now, Salah injury in next game, as I've just put him in my team.
Yeah, no, Chris is determined for me to drop points because I'm cashing in on Salah. So, Keith, after the conversation we had the other day, really? You just shot yourself in the foot, mate.
Right. So that kind of wraps all that up. As I said earlier on, we're cutting some of the content from our preview and review shows. We just kind of feel that sometimes they can go on a bit too long, and we want to keep you guys interested and keep you with us. And we also want to be able to bring more content and have you tune in regularly to all the different content we do. So with that said, G, do you want to tell them what we've come up with for yourself?
Yeah, so obviously we're not gonna change things too much. We're still gonna have our preview and review shows. We've also got obviously we launched the Lottie show sometime a while ago, which will be back at some point. But we're also going to be launching my very own show on the channel called G Talks, and literally it will be Arsenal content, football-based content. But just kind of moving away from the kind of match day preview, review, kind of content. So it will be kind of, either kind of like trending or trending topics, interesting topics, things that kind of split opinion with regard to Arsenal fans, but just to kind of mix it up. Just have different conversations, maybe see some rival fans etc come on the show, give their opinions on matters on Arsenal. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it. It's something that kind of came about just from conversations between us. So yeah, the first show is actually in process of being kind of organized and put together. I won't say any more about that, but it's likely to be launching next week, Wednesday. Hopefully midweek next Wednesday will be the first G Talks show. And that's all I'll say for now. Obviously, do follow our Twitter accounts and obviously subscribe to the channel. And then there'll be more news, hopefully, over the weekend and the beginning of next week. But yeah, really excited about that show, G Talks. And I'll let you guys know when the first show is, which should be next Wednesday. But yeah, it will just be kind of Arsenal-based topics, Arsenal, discussions, but kind of moving away more from match day and just kind of talking about kind of single topics. But yeah, I'm really looking forward to it, and hopefully you guys can tune into some of the shows that we've got coming up.
Yeah, and if anybody wants to get involved, and maybe come on to some of those shows, it'd be great to have some new faces. Get in touch with G. And I'm sure he can, over the coming weeks, get some stuff sorted out. Yeah. You'll also see more of our little mini series of fans' favourites going out. We've obviously put a couple out so far, but we're going to be recording some more of those and putting those out. So if anybody wants to get involved in that, it's another opportunity. If you're not confident on a camera, it's an opportunity to come and do something one-on-one that isn't live. And you don't have to be as nervous or as worried about it. And it's a good opportunity to see how you get on and see how you feel in front of a camera. So yeah, drop us a wee message and we'll get that organised with you as well. So Lottie, as for yourself, we did do one Lottie show, and it kind of went in the back burner just with other stuff that was going on through the summer, the Three Lions shows, the rumour mill, everything. But obviously we want to get back to getting some Lottie shows, and there's going to be a revamped version of that coming soon, I believe. Do you want to say a bit more on that?
I've got some stuff working on in the background. I've obviously got to get some few more bits and pieces together before I can tell you much more. Okay. I might be able to reveal something on Friday. You never know.
But again, hopefully, potentially starting again next week or the week after.
Possibly next Thursday at the moment I'm looking at. So stay tuned and I'll get some more information out as soon as I can.
Excellent. And before I tell you about Friday night, I'll read these couple of comments. Ryan FC, this chat box is a friendly place too. Just shout, we're all family here, mate. Absolutely, we are indeed. Canon Chatter was set up with the idea of it was, by the fans, for the fans, and we do like to think of ourselves as one big family, and everybody gets on well and chats to each other, and it's great. You see it on Twitter a lot, everybody chatting to each other, and you see the same sort of regular names in the conversation. And we are working on a Discord server as well to be able to keep the chat, in house, and keep it going all the time. Jamie, that's for the Leeds game. Oh, sorry, for the party anytime 3-0 and 45-1.
Okay.
And that's with Patrick Parr.
Paddy Power. Okay, cool.
Not advertising for them, Lottie. Other good betting accounts available. So, with that said, Friday night, we have something different coming for you. We've been putting a lot of work in. We want to do something a bit different. So on Friday night, we will be having our first ever Halloween Spooktacular, which we're really looking forward to. We're going to do a lot of different stuff. We're going to be joined by, there's going to be the three of us, and there's going to be 3 guests on with us as well. We're going to have the lovely Georgina, is going to be with us. I'm not sure if she's still in the chat tonight. Keith, our great friend, mostly Arsenal, is going to join us. And we're also going to be joined for the first time, making his debut on the show, the man who creates all this wonderful artwork on our YouTube channel. Not all the wonderful artwork on our Twitter, because that's done by Chris, but the man who does all the wonderful artwork on YouTube, and that is Martin at Gunforce Edits. You may know him by from Twitter. Is going to be making his debut, so we're excited for that. Fun and games, as well as obviously we'll chat about the Leeds game. We'll chat about the Leicester game coming up at the weekend. What I would say, watch it from your computer if you can, because you will need your phone. That's as much as we're going to tell you right now, but you will need your phone. Or you can use your computer and watch it on your phone, but it's probably easier doing it on your phone. Yep. Tom, I can't come on live. My face is only fit for radio. Fair play to you guys, rocking it week in, week out, though. Keith is also doing a great job too at the minute. He absolutely is. Thank you, Tom. And don't worry, you can come on live. Don't be worrying about things like that. You can just stick a paper bag over your head. Be fine. 2 eye holes cut out. So yes, Friday night, the Halloween Spooktacular. I am really, really looking forward to this one. It's going to be a really good show, hopefully. And hopefully you all enjoy it. So get the word out, get as many people watching as we can. It's going to be a bit different. G, anything else you want to talk about tonight?
No, I'm good. Just really looking forward to Friday night show. I know we've kind of kept it under wraps for a little while now, but really looking forward to it. I've started the prep already. Obviously, we've got loads of stuff lined up which we can't talk about, but I can't wait for the guys to hear about. But I'm buzzing. I'm buzzing for the show. I don't necessarily obviously. Well, I do really. I celebrate Halloween. Obviously trick or treating with the kids, and we went pumpkin picking today. And most years we've always done kind of like a fancy dress kind of Halloween party, or in the house, or we've gone out and stuff like that. So yeah, it's all good. Looking forward to the show. Well, yeah, that's about it.
Lottie, anything else you want to talk about tonight?
Not from me. I'm looking forward to Friday. I mean, I've been itching throughout the show, so I'm just glad it's been announced now, because I can not keep quiet about it anymore.
We can talk about it, yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I mean, I've mentioned it, about 3 times tonight?
Yeah.
I
think I mentioned it first time by mistake.
It was
We are
really
going to
hard
plug the
to
life
keep a
out of it over the
secret.
next few days.
Yeah.
All right, G, very quickly, run us through the socials. Just before he does that, if you do have any last comments or questions, drop them in the chat now and we'll come back to them at the end.
No problem. So yeah, thank you guys for tuning in as always. It's always a pleasure to have you, with your comments and your chats. So yeah, massive thank you for your support. You can follow us on our socials. We are on Facebook, which is @CannonChatter. We're also on Instagram, which is @Cannon_Chatter. And most recently, we have started up our very own TikTok, which is @Cannon_Chatter. So yeah, if you aren't following us on our socials, please do that straight after tonight's show. Most of you will know us from Twitter. Our official Twitter account is @CannonChatter. You can follow Stephen, our great host tonight, at SB CannonChatter. You can follow myself if you want to hear me rant on, as always, at G Talks Arsenal, and also the lovely Lottie just down there in the screen, at Lottie_B with 2 T's and 2 I's, because
somebody beat her to it.
There you go.
I can't believe you forgot that last week.
I know.
I saw that. You were unlucky. I was awake for that.
But yeah, no, definitely follow us on Twitter if you're not following us already. And obviously, if you want to purchase any of our Cannon Chatter t-shirts or hoodies, which we try to rock every single time we do a show, then please do email info@cannonchatter.com or DM Stephen at SB Cannon Chatter on Twitter, or just drop any one of us a DM and we can give you the information you need. And most importantly, if you are a regular, if you're not a regular, but if you have one thing in common, which is you enjoy our content, please do make sure that you subscribe, you turn on the notifications, and you hit that like button. Thank you very much, people.
Thank you, G. Last couple of comments. Jamie saying to you guys, do you have Susan Boyle Sports over there?
Don't know what you're talking about.
So no, they don't. Boyle's Bookmakers. Great show again. You lot, love you. Thank you, Keith. We love you too. We will see you on Friday night. All right. That seems to be it. So, Lottie, any last comments?
None from me.
All right. G, any last comments?
Good night, people. See you soon.
Excellent. I will leave it with, I will see any of you that are still up on Gary's show on the Red Cannon at 12:30. Join us there. I believe we're going to be talking about one of Lottie's favourites, which is William Saliba. We're going to have a look at the Villa game, and I believe we're going to talk about the Leicester game and stuff as well. So, yeah, should be a good show. Catch us then. Other than that, we will see you on Friday night for our Halloween Spooktacular. Good night. God bless.